taking food and turning it into fuel. Because it is true that this project has gone from biofuels good to biofuels evil in very short time. We've gone from interesting, quirky, fringy, sort of, neat to crimes against humanity in really, 7 short years. And what is that all about? We are in sustainable biodiesel, and we are a bunch of sustainability addicts. So what we are doing, a lot of our fuel makers walk to work. You see the bikes. People are riding their bikes. You can't afford to drive on this precious stuff. And the idea is that you've got this energy-driven sustainability, bunch of sustainability freaks making biodiesel, and we're making it out of waste, and we're trying to be as conscious as we can about the energy balance of our fuel. When I say energy balance, what I mean is fossil BTUs in versus renewable BTUs out. And let's make sure that that equation is always positive and good. The issue then becomes biofuels. So we're making sustainable biodiesel, which is this weird little niche thing over here. Biofuels, like on the cover of Time magazine, is including ethanol. Ethanol takes virgin corn and starch and goes after that into sugar and sugar into alcohol. And not only is ethanol sort of marginal from an energy balance standpoint, but ethanol has been successful at bidding against food. So what happens then is, 7 years ago, we had big surpluses. And as long as there's a big caloric surplus in America and farmers are being paid not to grow things and Uncle Sam is stockpiling, well, caloric production is here and caloric consumption is here, and biofuels looks like a really great idea. Well, now the developing world is developing a taste for meat. A lot of our grains are going into meat. India and China are starting to eat chicken. And suddenly, the caloric output of the world is about evenly matched with the caloric consumption of the world. And at that moment, biofuels looks like a horrible idea. Looks like and can be a horrible idea. We also see it in biodiesel. So in our quest for fuel, we cannot burn the rainforests of Indonesia to plant oil palm trees all in a row, to put the oil on super tankers, to ship it to Seattle, to offload it in the Seattle harbor, to spin it into biodiesel, to put it on a train, to send it to Raleigh-Durham Airport so that they can call themselves green. Stop the madness. Our renewable fuels community goes out and gives prizes to places that burn a lot of biodiesel. Stop the awards and the prizes and tilt, don't do this. And so it's very easy to not be sustainable or green in any way in biofuels, anything. So from our standpoint, I think it's a mindfulness, right? It's if it's not in the journey towards sustainability, we're probably not interested in it. One of the things that happens around here, we sell our fuel to Europe. So selling our fuel to Europe is not what we set out to do. It's a horrible idea. We're making sustainable biodiesel, or we're doing our best to make sustainable biodiesel. That's what comes off the terminal. But at some point, we got to rip that sticker off. We can argue about what that point is. Is it the state line? Is it the Georgia state line? Is it when they put it on a super tanker and send it to Rotterdam? The guy running around in Oslo on our fuel can't call himself green. Again, stop the madness. So, I run around on sustainable biodiesel. That's what's in the yard. But that same fuel, by the time you ship it over to Oslo, is a horrible idea.
Hi, this is BJ Lawson, and today we're taking the pulse of community-based sustainability with Lyle Estill here at Piedmont Biofuels. Lyle, thanks for joining the conversation.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, one thing I'm really excited about, you just published this book, Small as Possible.
Right.
Which, as I read through it, I felt like I was reading a Mark Twain novel, just about life in a community. But as you mentioned in the introduction, this is it's not fiction. This is real life.
That's true. Thank you for that, Mark Twain. I'll take Mark Twain comparisons all day long.
So, what is it that got you into this mode of starting look around for sustainable circles within your immediate environment?
You know, it's probably our government's approach to economic development is probably the root cause of this book. I've lived in Chatham County for 18 years, and our economic development folks tend to be out hunting elephants. They want a new car plant, or they want a new big, mental hospital, or they want some kind of behemoth employer to come to town, at which point all of our problems will be solved.
Right.
Now, we haven't really landed one in 18 years, and none of our problems have been solved. Yet, we've got a really vibrant, growing, prosperous economy. Mm-hmm. And it's from small stuff.
Right.
Lots of small stuff. So
right.
I'm just I've been a small business person all my life, and I think that's where the action is. So I guess one of the reasons for the book about our local economy, true stories from our local economy, is to try to offer a countervailing view for what it is that makes us prosperous.
Absolutely. Well, that was one of the things. There's so many insights I picked out of this book, but I've heard it said that politicians love BSOs. They love bright, shiny objects. Ribbon cuttings
yes,
that they can
right.
go to front page of the newspaper. I'm doing my job as your elected official because I brought this.
Right.
Without oftentimes people considering, well, if you say you're going to bring your girlfriend home to meet the parents, and then the girlfriend looks at you after an hour and says, "Hey, I need more money to stay," that's not really a girlfriend after all, And I think politicians and economic development, I agree 100%. I think it's a fantastic observation.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time trying to recruit, but at the same time, what's here? What are the resources that are available?
I think that's right. So it's about an examination of our self-reliant streaks, and sort of what would it take for a community like ours to feed itself and fuel itself and finance itself and so on. That's basically what the book is about.
And you've been in a lot of industries. So software. You talk about how you started out really from the perspective of someone taking advantage of globalization,
right,
and running the family business or working in the family business.
That's right.
But yet you kept starting to perhaps question the ultimate end game with that scenario.
Migrating down. That's exactly right. Migrating to smaller maybe would be the better answer. It's true. So I absolutely was raised in the computer industry, in business with my brothers, and we were absolutely of a mindset that if you're not participating in the global economy, you're not in the game.
Right.
And that was sort of the traditional wisdom at the time, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And so I've gone from flying all over the planet selling my wares to about an 18 mile per day vehicle, mile traveled paradigm. And this winter we've moved the children into a new school in town, which should cut me down to 9 miles a day.
Wow. You could ride that easy.
Yeah, well, I've got kids.
Well,
kids
true.
in tow, but yes.
So one of the things that I know a lot of people are thinking about is that they're going to the, well, maybe not farmer's market, but certainly at the grocery store, watching their grocery bills go up, watching their gas bills go out of sight. As you were looking at becoming more local, was the future of energy something that you were consciously considering, and what it means to be transitioning from a world where we assume that energy is going to be plentiful and cheap to perhaps maybe it's not such a great thing to have 5% of the world's population consuming 20-25% of the world's fossil fuels?
Without a doubt. My entry into this world of renewable energy, came from my own consumption patterns. I was making my own fuel, and I still believe in home brewing. We do workshops and classes at Piedmont Biofuels promoting the idea of here's how you can do it yourself. Mm-hmm. When I was a metal sculptor, I put 27,000 miles a year on my pickup truck. I thought nothing of going back and forth to the scrapyard 4 times a day and going to a neighboring town for lunch. I would also go drop off a commission in Pennsylvania or go do a drive up to New Jersey to do a show. So I essentially lived in my pickup truck quite comfortably. When I started making my own fuel, I kind of got into this